Here yet. And we're live. Hey, folks. Welcome back to ISO Buddies Productions. Tonight we have a treat, I think, a visual treat for the eyes. Not just me and my perfect hair. So we are going to have, I don't know if you just saw the eyelashes for the ladies. I've got some pretty sweet eyelashes, too. I've been told by my 3-year-old daughter. We have Tanner Stainbrook with us tonight. I don't know if you know. Apparently, he is. I just learned this. He vends snakes through. Hey, Wally. He vends snakes through medieval serpents at yahoo.com. I say Yahoo. I don't know how you say it, but I think Yahoo's way funnier. But he's going to give us some tips on how to take better macro photos today. I don't think he'll give us all of his tips because it's kind of his little side business. But he takes great photos. He's got such a great eye for snakes and isopods. And hey, Rick, how you doing? And pretty much everything he takes a picture of. Like, I didn't realize that ambers have a little white edge around their yellow plates. Do they call them plates? It makes them so much more beautiful. If you don't know, I'm stalling a little bit so Tanner can get kind of a slideshow ready of some of his macro photos to just go through. And if you have any questions or want to ask about them during the show, feel free to ask. And all of these photos are for sale as, if you contact Tanner, they're for sale as tiles, or he's got different stuff. I think he does prints. He'll let you know. Magnets, I know for sure there's magnets, but they're literally beautiful. So beautiful bugs with their little compound eyes. While we're stalling, if you haven't already, click like, subscribe, get ready to put a comment on the video later. We're sorely lacking in comments, which is weird to me because most of our views are the next day. So for our Wednesday people, thanks for tuning in. I got some fresh ink. My daughter did a tattoo for me. So she's 3 and kind of sucks at drawing, but she's getting better. She can do a circle, just not on skin. So, what else? We have in the ISO Buddies verse, we have jumping spiders now, thanks to Rick of Ophi Spider-Verse. Rick and Ophi. I got to meet them last week and go visit them in real life, and they are just as charming in real life as they were on the show. Ophi played with my daughter for probably 3 hours straight. Ophi's 8 and Faith is 3. So, props to Ophi for that. She was going to make a great babysitter and a mom someday. Hopefully soon I'll need a babysitter. I'm waiting for Tanner to give me the thumbs up that he's ready to go. Oh, there it is. All right, let's bring Tanner in. Enough of me. Tanner, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up?
Glad to finally have you on. Sorry we had to postpone a minute because I got confused.
No, it's totally cool, man. Life's crazy.
It's a large endeavor. Doing a dumb little YouTube show for one person, it's a big endeavor. I'm going to have to hold some interviews for actual, a regular co-host.
I feel that.
Wally from Supreme Gecko and Rick from Ophi Spider-Verse are here already. So
cool.
Wally says hi.
Hey, what's up?
Do you know him from the show circuit, or where are you?
I'm in South Alabama. Most of the people that are famous invert roly-poly people, I've never met in person. I just met Ty Randall this last show in Slidell this last weekend. He does all kinds of, spiders and tarantulas and stuff. And I met Gabe Saheen for the first time. He's a big roach guy over in Louisiana. So just starting to meet some of the big names I talk to online on a regular basis.
That's awesome. Throw their names my way. We could always use, we haven't talked to anybody about roaches yet. I think that would be cool to do a show on that too. You do roaches too, right?
Yeah, I've got 27, 28 species. So yeah. Yep.
Wow. I lived in an apartment that had 27 species.
Yeah, I don't do the macros of them as much because they're just so fast and flighty, most of them. So it's a lot harder than the pods. The pods take a lot of patience to begin with, but the roaches are kind of next level. Most of them, they don't sit still long for at all. But most of what I have, you wouldn't even recognize as a roach. A lot of it, it's real elegant and colorful and different.
I've seen those jade ones. Well, maybe we'll do another show about roaches in the future. I'm running out of guests, so we're going to start recycling and getting other topics with the same people, or
for sure
the same topics, whatever. We'll see what we got. Did you connect your computer yet?
Yeah,
I see it shows.
I think I've got the share screen up. You can try and see if you can see it.
Let me see if I can. It says device not connected.
All right.
You need to connect your mic or cam. I don't know how this works really. Wally, if you have a low end version of how to share Tanner's screen with us, that would be awesome.
My PC screen, because I don't have a mic or cam on that PC screen.
Okay.
So it would just be like trying to share the screen somehow.
I have to have one of them before we can add them to the stream. That's so weak. Let's see. Can we do it this way?
Can I put pictures in chat?
I think you can, or I could use the ones off of my phone that you sent me, but you only sent me like 6. Wally says he picked up some red goblin roaches on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
And he might get rid of his crickets. So, Wally, we always have technical difficulties, and we didn't figure this out ahead of time, but we're trying to share Tanner's screen from his desktop so we can do pictures. Or if we can share his screen from his phone, we can still talk to Tanner, but have his photos up from his phone.
I'm going to take you with me.
So if you have some tips, it's okay. All right. Wally set me up with StreamYard in the first place. So, but in the meantime, we can look at some of your plates. So, you basically shut down my little tip for taking pictures of ice pods, where I said just blast them with a little bit of hairspray till they slow down. That was. I haven't done that. Don't call PETA. You have to send the pics to me, and I have to share the pics.
Okay. All right.
So if you could blast me an email, I could probably do that.
Sure. Through
my email. We'll figure it out. So it's always a technical difficulty with this show, and a lot of times it's my fault. Tanner can bring up his pics on his computer and show on the phone. I don't know what that means.
So I think he just means like we were talking about, where I put the picture in front of the phone, you know what I mean, where you can see it.
Oh, you just put okay. You just filmed your screen. Okay, yeah, but I got it.
I'll send a couple to you here in an attachment that you probably don't have yet.
Okay. Yeah, because I just have some on my phone, but this is like I'm using my desktop to stream because that's all it's good for anymore. Yeah, so what do you have for us as a tip? Is it just patience to get them in the right spot, because they are fast?
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple things I've found over time. One of the big things for sure is making sure that you have really good lighting. I think a lot of people try to do this in their reptile room or whatever, where it's really dim and kind of dark and just not where you think of conducive for really great photography a lot of times.
Okay.
So I actually have some. I'm gonna send you these 3.
Dropbox could work too.
Let's just see if these 3 go through, and if you can get these 3, and then maybe you can share these.
Okay.
I replied to that same email you just sent.
You're sending me an email? Okay. All right. So then, can we say your good news online here? Does everyone know about your good news that's on the way?
Yeah, we got less than 4 weeks before our first son will be born. So
let's hope he waits those 4 weeks, because everyone I know has a preemie, and 4 weeks is not that big a deal. But
yeah. Sorry,
I'm shaking. I do have these 3. Let's see. Download. What's this? Download.
I can show you, see if it'll. Wait, hold on. Let me turn this light actually on. I'm sitting in front of.
You can see some of the shots behind him here. I think that's a Gestroy.
Yeah, Gestroy and a ducky and
rubber ducky.
This is Warenrai.
Oh wow! Yep, there you go. Now, what is that on? What is that printed on? That you sell these, right?
Yeah, I sell these. They're it's got a backer where I think you can see the screw holes there. Maybe I'm not great. There we go.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it's got screw holes on like every side, so you can attach it. It's a I don't know if you can hear it like knock. It's some kind of like wood something.
Okay.
I don't know, foam, wood, board, polyfoam. I don't really know, but it has this like wooden look on the edges.
Okay. Nobody's paying attention to the edges anyway. They're looking at the photo that you got.
Yeah. So my wife really likes this one. She thinks it's she says it looks like they're like on a cell level, and the like skin cells they're eating or something, like they're microscopic, under a microscope.
Oh yeah.
But it's just fish flakes that they're eating. That's a color enhancing flake, but
okay.
But she loves.
Well, that really worked on those guys.
Yeah. Wearing the right orange.
They've got some colored enhanced on it. That's the last armadillo I want, but I'm thinking of downsizing a lot here in a little bit. I mean, they're just gorgeous. Like the pictures that you get are gorgeous. So the tip is lighting.
Well,
that's the big tip to get the colors to come out.
Well, so if you see, I don't know if you can see right here behind me, this bar I'm pointing to. This is a giant 15,000 Kelvin coral grow light. It has a blue and white mode for night and day for saltwater aquarium reef growing.
Okay.
And it has 3 or 4 LED rows under here, bright white, pure white LED. And then you can see I've got this black cardboard paper taped to the wall.
Okay.
And so that's how I get a lot of these shots where you'll see actually like kind of like in that, in like this first one I showed you, or even in the Werner eye, you see this black back here. The way I get that black background is when I'm doing the macro, I make sure that I have this, I do it up in front of this black paper so that any overlay past the bark and everything I'm looking at catches that black paper, and it almost looks like I have them in like a black photo box or in a black, individual.
Oh, that's genius.
Shot box, but instead it's just a paper backer. And then you can see in the reflection of these pictures, I have a light ring like, a lot of the YouTubers use. You can see it glow in here. So
mine makes my face totally wash out. It's like,
yeah, it's, they're helpful sometimes for stuff like this, but anyway, so I usually have that turned on as well, just as extra lighting. So it's a lot of intense light, and I get them right up underneath, and then I've actually got my little macro shot thing right here. So this is the little magic. Oh
my God, that's exactly what I have. Like,
it's got this.
I've got this one.
Okay, wait. Hold yours all the way up. Take your cover off and hold it up.
Okay.
Close to me. I bet it looks like you've done something I did too. Turn it sideways.
I had to fiddle with this one because the set I got a pretty cheap one. But
yeah, mine isn't expensive either. It was just something from Amazon my wife picked up actually. And so the thing was, I had a little tiny thin. So you see how thin mine is, right? How thin this is? Okay, so there was actually 2 lenses here. There was a macro lens, and the macro lens was like on top of some other like wide lens or other lens I didn't realize at first. And I couldn't get these really up close like raspberry eye shots even with the macro lens, and I was so frustrated with it. And then I was fiddling with this thing one day, and I was unscrewing the lenses, and I actually took those 2 lenses apart and realized that the macro piece was just its own little tiny thin cover, like its own little tiny thin lens. And so it's only this one little thin band. This little thin band on this front is the only macro lens part. And so I just attached that macro lens without the wide, and then they were really, really blurry. And I was like, man, why are they so blurry? Well, I actually had to get the phone like ridiculously close to them. And then all of a sudden they came into focus, and it just kind of playing with that over and over again is kind of how I started figuring the first ones out. And then of course I added good lighting so I could actually see them.
I think I need to do that readjustment like you did, because I think I have that secondary lens on there. Because I'm not getting macro shots either.
If there's two lenses, take them both off and just put the macro one back on. and then you'll have to do some playing with the distance because it'll be really blurry at first, and you'll have to like zoom in. And I go to 2x zoom on mine. Like, you know, my iPhone does a 1 to 2x zoom on its own. And on the 2x zoom, occasionally it wants to switch to like the secondary focus camera, and that's not under the macro lens, and then it just is really blurry. But if you do a little adjustment, it'll switch back, and you'll have to play
got a
with
new
it,
phone.
but
I just got a new phone that has a great macro lens on it. I was getting really good pics, and then I went in the pool with it. It doesn't work anymore. So,
Well, see,
I had it like a month.
And on like a newer iPhone that has like the 3 or 4 camera lenses on the back, I'm not really sure where you would even attach this, because I have this, well, you can't see it because I'm using it, but I have a really old iPhone like 7, and it only has like a side-by-side camera. You know what I'm saying? So I only have to put the macro lens on one. I know what camera lens I need to put it on my phone. So like for you guys that have multi-lens cameras, I'm not real sure. I haven't had an opportunity to play with the newer iPhone and the different lenses. So
I use an LG.
Oh yeah, see, I don't know. I got this iPhone refurbished at a like iPhone shop, and my wife swears that they like upgraded the camera or something when I got it, but because it's like literally it's an old iPhone 7, it's all cracked and beat to pieces, but the joke is it's the moneymaker because it just takes these incredible shots. So I'm dreading when it finally quits. I'm gonna have to upgrade to a new iPhone because I know they have a great camera, but I don't know if I can get the macro lens to work the same. So I'm just enjoying it. I'm trying to get as many shots. I'm trying to get as many shots and stuff as I can for now with it until it quits on me. But
they've got amazing cameras now, so that's not
for real. I need to just break down and buy like a legit camera. But I do a lot of the other tip I would give you guys when you go to photograph an isopod is a lot of times when you turn over a piece of log or whatever and you're going to photograph a species, you know, there's like 20 of them that dart all over in different directions, and since it's hard to just like decide on who you're going to focus on, and so I just give them a minute, let them kind of clear out, let the ones that are going to clear out, and then I kind of turn the cork over slowly a couple times, go it over a couple times, and I kind of I kind of choose a target essentially, and I quit trying to look at so many and all of them. I try to quit looking at all of them as like a whole and try to just kind of an individual. I love this shot of that's a good shot. I love that shot of the baby on the parent. I actually just sent this to a duet now.
Is this a parachi? Is that what this is?
No, these are spats. Porcellia spatulatus.
Okay. It's hard to tell. I've never seen them in a profile. I only ever see them from the top down. That's awesome.
Yeah. I just sent this picture to a teacher so that he could use it to try to help like encourage kids to like get into isopods and bugs. And of course I included a ducky photo because you have to.
You have to. I have to still shout out to Scott Wesley at Isopod Freak that he sent me those. He gifted me some rubber duckies because he's like, you have to have rubber duckies if you're going to keep isopods. But I was never going to spend that much on isopods I would never see. So, but that was super nice of him to do. That was super great. And I have babies somewhere. I've seen the babies. Let's see. Can I go to a different one?
I got like 6 to begin with, and mine aren't doing great right now, but I've got a couple left, and I'm probably going to get some more from a friend. I love Gestroy. They are so cool. Giant.
I just got my first
rollers.
Yeah.
You know, I love the sexual dimorphism with them, where the females have the gray skirting, and it's just. That's a hard isopod to beat right there. Even keepers that are keeping all kinds of Cubaris and stuff like that, you start asking about like their top 3. A lot of them throw Gestroy in there. That's just a beast of an isopod, man.
I just love them. I just got my first babies of these guys too, and so I was very excited. It took a while. I think they're just slow breeders because they're so big. Yeah. But that's just my assumption. I don't really know.
All those Armadillidium are slow. They take a while to get to adult size. They all get a lot bigger than people realize, even like the clowns. I mean, I have some monster clowns, but, you know, and then the babies will stay hidden in the soils and stuff until they've got some pretty good size and color. where a lot of other Mankey will be out running around as little jelly beans. So I think that's kind of the big difference with them too.
I have a species now. I'm waiting to see if they're actually the babies from that species or not, because I have one adult left. They basically died of old age, and I have like 50 babies in there, but I don't know. They're so small. I don't know what they are yet. And then
I learned from a lot of my stock of stuff comes from Josh and Ken Meese, who a lot of people know from way back in the day. They're kind of OG invert people, and Ken and they taught me a lot of what I know and things like that. But Josh used to always say, if you've had isopods in a bin and you think they've all crashed, keep misting it, keep feeding it, give it a month. He said you'd be surprised how many times he didn't give up on bins and there was Mankey and stuff that made it in the soil. So, worth trying to save it anyway.
That's smart. Yeah, because I have a dump bin that is like, I'll go in there and just kind of sort out from time to time, and I find all kinds of stuff in there now. Just like where I put my soil when I'm doing soil changes or updating.
Yeah.
What are these guys?
These are Scaber Dalmatians. They've got that spotting and modeling. Most people don't see them that close, so they kind of look cookies and cream almost to me.
Yeah, it looks so much cooler up close. And then there's that little yellow baby next to it.
Yeah, I really love the Werner eye, the Delia Werner eye, the real flat with the white, like I was showing you in that picture of on the tile. It's they're just so beautiful, unrealistic.
I just can't get over the detail that you're getting on these photos. So I don't know if you guys can see these at home, but just the detail on this Gastroy, like they look so smooth, and you can see here that they're not. Oh, you can see my mouse. That's awesome. You can see here that they're not. So they've got like two different textures.
Ducky's got lots of detail.
Oh, yeah.
Easy to see his eyes and everything.
I love being able to see their little face. Like, you don't get to see it that well up close. I feel like the duckies are the most macro photoed isopod on the planet.
Oh, for sure. I tell you, though, I think Pak Chong are so much prettier than them. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I get, like, the ducky craze, and because they're called rubber duckies, that led to a craze because of that cute coining of the name and everything. But, like, when you look at, like, Pak Chong, I've got Amber right now and Red Tiger, and it's just like, how are ducky the most popular and famous? Like, just how? There's so many more beautiful and elegant isopods out there that just blow them away to me. Like, Pak Chong just look like they're hand-painted, like, Indian ornaments or something. I don't know. And, it's just...
That's a good way to put it. Pak Chong's probably one of my favorite Cubaris. I'm not a huge Cubaris fan, but I think they're really cool. The white and that like beige almost, like they're gray beige back, and then the orange, little orange pips. It's just so cool.
I still need white tigers. Josh had a bunch of white tigers back in the day.
Oh yeah, that's weird to say back in the day because I thought they were relatively new. That's cool. It's cool to.
So I started hanging out with Josh and Ken about 3 years ago, and they had like, at the time, every major isopod like in the hobby, but I think they've since pretty much gotten out of most of it. But I have all of my African gyno roaches, a lot of my isopod, like zebras and clowns and stuff. A lot of my stock is from their lines that have been in the captive hobby for 20 plus years probably. So a lot of my bloodlines and a lot of my invert cultures go way back. And I do a lot of outcrossing from time to time where I buy species I already have just to keep blood fresh, and I'm not doing too much of the same invert, inbreeding and stuff with the same bloodline. So, but yeah, the original blood of my stuff goes way back for most of it.
Yeah, that gets tough. That gets tough when they get eventually you get that solid inbreeding. It's not the best. I spruced up my clowns and they just kept dying. So now they're breeding actually. So that's awesome. Clowns were like my holy grail. They would not breed for me. Everything else had babies. They just kept dying off. And finally, I got a batch that had babies, and they seem super easy for everyone. It's not fair.
No, no lie, I didn't really lose any, but it took me like a year to see Mankey in my bin of clowns. But I'll tell you now, man, I probably have like 3,000 or something right now, and I've got a wholesale bin. I've got a like original clown bin that has a bunch of my like really clean purple, yellow, white, like perfect clown looking line, and then I've got a separate isolated bin of ones that are like all orange, basically, where it's like the skirt color has taken over the whole thing. Some of them don't even really have spots; they're just like orange puddingy looking. So I'm trying to get those going in like their own. Yeah, I'm trying to kind of. It seems like it might be line bred, so I'm trying to kind of prove that out. And then, of course, if you've seen my Jokers, I actually bought some really insane clowns that Trenton Telemantes was selling, and I basically picked up his whole collection of clowns that he was getting rid of, and it included all these crazy, freak clowns. And I have isolated those with a bunch I found in my own cultures. And so I've got some like crazy yellow sherbet swirled insane things going on, and trying to prove those out. I got all white zebras, which I've got like a whole culture of adults isolated, but most of their Mankey have come out striped on this first round. So it's not going to be, it doesn't seem like it's a line bred thing. It's probably an actual like, homozygous, heterozygous type trait. So I'm going to have to keep these Mankey isolated and see if they carry the gene for it. And if I can't produce like all white zebras consistently.
That would be crazy.
And then my other fun project.
I mean, they're not zebras anymore.
I've been calling them Yetis.
Nice.
But there's so many like names for different things in the hobby. Everybody names whatever. I got caught a bunch of flack a couple of days ago in networking group for posting about some wild type vulgare that I had raised up from Madison County, Alabama, North Alabama, when I used to live up there. And I had caught them from this one specific valley. They have really, really gold accents and armor. And so I just called them like high yellow, vulgare from Madison County vulgare, and caught all this flack about high yellows being, like a Punta Cana type, or just a regular vulgare that has like a gold carapace from the UK and stuff. And I'm like, okay, it was just a neighborhood coined term, so, but anywho, so, I don't know who makes the official isopod names. I think maybe Laura May. Is she the one that has to approve our official namings?
Who, Laura Maite?
Yeah. She has like she has like 200 something species.
Yeah, I think so. Or are you talking about Smug Bug?
Yeah, isn't that the same person? Laura May Ripple, isn't that the same? Like,
I've never met her. I've never met her, so I have to reach out to her.
I haven't either. I just think that. But they post a whole bunch of things. Like whenever they post an isopod, they post like all this stuff about like its genealogy and where they're from and stuff like that. And so that's why I was saying, like, do we need to go through her for all our? Like, can I name this and it be officially what it's called? Here's where it's from. Like, could she be the official go-to with the gavel so we can?
Yeah.
Because Hodgepodge Pods and I were talking about that. Hodgepodge Pods and I were talking about that. How like there's just so much naming that seems like people just make up nowadays for something that looks slightly different of the same, isopod, and it's like where are we drawing lines at, So
I've been making fun of that on the show since before we started, and just in Facebook. So you reminded me of a challenge that I want to put forth to my peoples. Let's see, where did that picture go? I don't know if I have it on this phone. I think it's on my other phone. But so now back to photography. Do you have any special training for that at all?
No, not at all.
Like, because you're really got a gift.
No, I went to college for ecology at Troy University here in Central Alabama, and I I mean, I've gone out in the field and done a lot of field herpetology and photographing wildlife and insects and stuff, but just all with, you know, point and shoot phones or point and shoot cameras. Never had like a pro device or anything like that. So this literally just stemmed from my wife. You know, I got into isopods by helping the Misas out and getting paid in isopods and roaches a couple years ago, and kind of got me into the hobby of inverts. I was already big into reptiles, had a bunch of snakes and stuff, and then she got me this macro lens, and I already had the light rigs and stuff, and it just kind of was a combination of putting everything together one day, the bright lights, the figuring out taking the two lenses apart, and then kind of, you know, like I said, picking a target and, you know, trying to get that one isopod to kind of work with you, using the black paper background. So I kind of have that photo box appearance. And yeah, I mean, a lot of it's patience. I take, you know, 20, 30 photos of almost every isopod you see pictures of. Like that picture you got up right now with the baby spat on her back. I think I had like 12 or 13 of, you know, shots of that before I picked that one.
Yeah, because they don't sit still.
Yeah.
This is still my favorite. The yellow on this is so awesome.
Yeah, Gastroid. I mean, this is another Gastroid behind me right here, and it's a different shot. But, you know, again, same, just crazy, like, raspberry.
That yellow is just so clean. So that's a male, and then the one I have up is the female. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have sexual dimorphism with their skirting. So
that's awesome. I didn't know that.
I've seen some females.
Go ahead.
I've seen some females that are almost as dark as males. Like I've seen males breeding females, and I thought that was a male, you know. But most of my girls have that real light grayish skirting. So
no judgments. They can do what they want.
I'm really trying to get some. Do I now?
No judgments. They can do what they want to do. You know. It's 2020, man. You know, it's 2021.
Hey, no judgments here at all. You know. I always like seeing those videos where like the one female isopod is done, you know, and she's rolled up in the bowl. You got like two males that are just like rolling her like with their feet. They're like trying to figure out how to open her up, you know, and she's just staying in the bowl. There's a bunch of people that have posted those videos, you know, where the males are just like spinning the female in between them. You know, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Like a weird game of soccer. There's only one loser. All right. So here's the question. We're talking about funny names. So this is a Marinella, but it's being called Red Diablo out of Thailand. It's not, it's definitely not here yet, but it's on its way. I got 4 or 5 sites, and I think that name sucks.
Yeah, I think that's...
So we need to like... Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's one of Chung's photos, isn't it? Alex Chung's. But yeah, I saw that the other day. I mean, to me, that I don't know if that was collected from another area or if that was isolated from Marinella tricolor. That's what I wonder. I wonder if it's just a tricolor isolation.
The tricolors are what I want, but this kind of takes the cake. Like, this is awesome. I get teased for switching back and forth. How are we doing in chat?
See, I still like stuff that... that's not... as popular, I feel like Gold Dust, Kibaris Gold Dust. That is some incredibly beautiful isopods. I don't have that species. I was talking to Alex Wong about them tonight, actually, but they are up there in cost, so I'm gonna have to make some sales before I can buy those.
That's the problem with all of these isopods. I'm starting to realize, like, I'm at that level now where I have to like get up there in my price point or step back. So
yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, the stuff I still need is like, you know, Kibaris Cappuccino and White Tigers and all the stuff that's like multi-hundred for a, you know, 6. And with a kid on the way, it's just like, priorities, you know.
Yeah, $100 for a bug. Like, they're literally $100. I'm sorry, a crab. I get it. I'm not trying to trash talk any breeders. Like, get it while you can. But that's crazy to me. like pandas, like
it's
white
been
pandas.
lucrative for me.
Yeah, you know, I'm not trash talking anybody. So, but like my wife's like, why aren't you selling some of this stuff? And they're like, everyone is selling it. Like, who do I sell to? I've got to find somebody who doesn't have them already. Because I don't have anything crazy.
I mean, they're out there. You know, I'll tell you, I was going to, you know, I started taking them to expos a couple years ago, and we used to have to, you know, people would walk up. I also wasn't doing pictures at the time. I just had like names on cups and stuff. And so people would walk up and they'd like, you know, what are you selling? And they're, you know, having to like rummage through cups, and you'd have to explain the whole shtick to every single person you encountered, you know. And you know, nowadays sitting behind a table, I don't hardly have to open my mouth. I've got all my pictures out, and I do all the cups. I display my pictures on my table on this rack system, and I cup the isopods up and have them, you know, labeled, and I have them sitting above each one of my photos of that species. So you don't even have to really look at the cup to see what you're, you know, going to be buying, what you're looking at. And then, you know, I have little kids that run up and, you know, oh, Mom, these are isopods, and they do blah, 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 and they're for cleaning tanks and da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, I don't have to say a word anymore. Where back 2 years ago, I had to explain it to every person that encountered me. And you'd be surprised. They hit a niche market of people that, you know, they're really easy for kids to, you know, get a hold of and breed and raise, a lot easier to deal with than fish or turtles or even, you know, reptiles for that matter. You know, it's super easy to just get another shoebox and slide it on the shelf and cut a little extra carrot or missed one more time, something else.
Oh yeah, and they're so photogenic.
But you know, we do those gardens where we have the I actually got one sitting right here. Hold on.
A garden. Now I'm curious.
So we do these gardens like this that are for the isopods, and they have like live moss and plants and stuff in them in these bowls.
Oh, that's
and,
awesome.
So it's kind of like a betta fish bowl. And we do like little fairy decorations and stuff in them. And, you know, I tell everybody it's just, you know, if you think about like, you know, a betta fish bowl at the bottom of a river with a fish in it, this is just the bottom of the forest floor with some forest floor critters in it. You know, we're mimicking the forest floor instead of the river bottom. And but, you know, again, just super rewarding, easy for kids. You know, we hook a lot of like moms with young kids with it, just as an easy pet that, you know, the kid can watch. And you know, I've had a lot of moms. I've had people that have left shows, gone and got money out and come back just to get gardens and isopods to put on their bookshelves and stuff. So
that's cool. That's a cool display piece.
Yeah, they're kind of all unique, and you know, we do them all like with the drainage layers, so you can make them bioactive and everything. And
yeah, smart.
Yeah.
How long does it take to put one of those together?
Sitting behind. Here's all most of my collection here.
You froze up on me.
The garden.
There you go. You're back.
The garden itself takes. You know, half an hour or so if I'm got all the pieces already laid out in front of me.
Okay.
But, you know, just needing all the right parts.
For sure. That gets kind of crazy. Let me see if I can post up. I think I have a picture of my last one I did. I had something similar that I did for ants. Open top, very brave open top situation with bamboo.
I keep a lot of open top stuff. Everybody's always like, egad, gasp, you know, open tops. And I'm like, I have a lot of open top stuff, to be honest. Just, you know, I'm very frequent with my misting and I check on stuff all the time. I'm very diligent about all that, but if you're diligent, open top's easy. Like a lot of stuff does way better with it that way.
You definitely get your ventilation that way. But then do you keep that drainage layer very wet? Like, is it pretty much full of water at that point in the drainage?
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. That makes a lot of sense.
Always,
so that helps too.
Evaporating up, they can dig down to it.
Right. They can moderate themselves by digging. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's what I did with my open top rubber ducky situation. So, but they've got like 3 or 4 inches of soil to dig into, and then it's like a jar within a jar. So they only have about 1.5 inches maybe wide, or in a ring they can get to, but it's like 4 inches deep with that false bottom. So, or the drainage layer. So, because they like it pretty wet. So, but I don't do a whole lot with them. They leave them alone. That's their deal. What else? I'm gonna put you back over here.
Like to burrow a lot.
Yeah, my Panda Kings are out a lot. They do.
Yeah,
that's an overpriced.
I have a Chola Woodies in there that has all the Swiss cheese holes in it, and they if I lift that thing out and turn it over, they're usually all underneath there and like down in the dirt, burrowed under there. That's where the vast majority of my colony seems to stay.
Wow, mine is like right on the top with under the wood, like under the bark. That's where their jam is, or wherever I put food, honestly. So there's some pigs.
Yeah, now I have some pieces of oak wood in there, like oak bark in there, and like slices, and the little manky will be under the oak bark slices, but the majority of the adults under the moss and under the cholla wood. And for me, but we were talking about like the males and funny things with males and female isopods, and but there's on my Instagram there's a video I did of a little red-headed roach that was trying to get a female's attention, and he's doing a little like twerking butt jiggle, and it's another hilarious bug thing to see.
Any display by insects is just amazing.
As we are.
Yeah,
I meant to mention that earlier, and it just reminded me.
I didn't realize that roaches had the mating display situation. That explains a lot of those.
They'll actually hold their little wings up.
Okay.
They'll hold their little wings up, the males will, and they have jelly, like a sweet nectar that most of them produce to try to attract a female. And the idea is to get the female to, come up there and get interested in the jelly. And while they're eating jelly, the males try to sneak their butts like back underneath and hook up with the female. And it's funny though, I've seen male for their jelly to other males, and like the invader male sneak up there to get some jelly, and then as soon as the male offering realizes that it's another male, when he tries to hook up, he like slings him off and gets all angry and aggressive. Really funny. But yeah, and some of like the horseshoe crabs, they have really short pseudo wings. Just kind of flash them over and over again, and they bounce up and down and like flash them back and forth at females. So fun. You can watch them for a long time, just like isopods, how they all have interactions. And the isopods are crustaceans, so they don't share and play well. So you can really watch them like tussle and and especially under the macro lenses.
Yeah, when they're stealing food from each other is like my favorite thing in the world. Playing tug of war with an oat or part of a fish, the best. I wish they would eat those little fish skeletons that they leave everywhere. Like my dairy cows just have like a graveyard right now in their bin. So your basic tips, we're going to get back to the basic tips before we go, are patience, take multiple pictures in quick succession, lighting's essential, clearly. I have a lot of lighting here for my miniatures. I paint miniatures and I need like crazy lighting for that. So I understand that situation. What else did you say? Not even an expensive macro lens.
Yeah.
Like your macro lens is the same. I think this set was like $20.
Stick with it. Yeah, mine was really cheap too. It wasn't like some expensive, $1,000 name brand. It was just a cheap off Amazon. Get it here quick, try it out, see if I liked it. And like I said, it took a long time playing with it before I kind of figured it out. But yeah, good. You know, if you had a really nice professional photo box with really great lighting and everything already in it, I would suggest using that. But I don't. And these coral lights, you know, with the black paper, I can kind of simulate that same look. So, but yeah, definitely, I think really intense lighting, which of course the isopods don't like. So again, that's why it's important, like I said, to take the cork out, just kind of let them run all over. I let whoever's going to drop into the bin, and then you'll have a handful of them that'll brave the lights and just kind of stay. And you know, you pick a target that you want out of that set that you think you can photograph successfully, and then yeah, try to get 15, 20 shots of that guy and go through and find the best one later. I do have a very mild photo editing app thing on my phone. A good photographer once told me that good photography is 20% a good camera and 80% good editing. So, but so anyway, I have just a really mild photo editor, and you know, it just helps crisp everything up and all that. So of course that helps, but you got to have the shot to be able to, like, you know, make it sharper or anything. So definitely, you know, getting the macro lens and figuring out how to get the shot is great. But yeah, lighting, patience, pick a target, take your time, get lots of shots.
So are you going to start breeding some light tolerant isopods? Is that your way to go now?
Sure, right. Yeah. We'll just start isolate that, like, sit on the cork and don't care if they're like directly under 15,000 Kelvin grow lights, and or maybe maybe I'm just like melting their retinas off. I'll tell you I know, you know, the corals and has to be like so strong, so it's of course kind of like UV, almost like the sun. And these black papers I have to change over time because they'll actually turn like gray. The light will actually like bleach the color out of them because they're such strong, like, coral lights. So these photo tiles may alter cover time if I leave them too long.
That would, I mean, you're making them, so it's not like you can't replace it, right?
Yeah.
So now, what is at the show or whatever on your? I'm going to put a link to your website on the. Is it just like a Facebook page that you have for selling your stuff, or do you have an actual website?
We have, but it's not really active very well right this moment. But yeah, you can just look me up directly, just Tanner Stainbrook on Facebook, or you can look us up at Medieval Serpents at Facebook. Or on my Instagram, I'm the Snake Hisperer. I've got underscores between the snake and Hisperer, but you can look us up in any of those places and message us. I've posted some really great deals for a couple isopod groups. The Hisperer with underscores in between them. But yeah, on my Facebook Medieval Serpents page, we just posted some good like trio deals for 3 different species shipped to you. So something there to look for. Wow. But it helps support the baby diaper fund.
Man, I tell you what, we got my step grandma is a little bit well-to-do, so she gifted us a year of diapers from the Honest Diaper Company. So the first year we didn't have to pay for any diapers. Wow. And when we finally did, because we were like, man, babies are pretty cheap. Like, what's the problem? And then when we started paying for diapers and wipes, we were like, this baby's got to go. Like,
right.
Like, where's the fire department from here?
With a wipe, but diapers, I don't know.
Diapers, I think, are the worst because you know they're just future garbage. Like, they're just going in the trash.
Right.
And my sister was like, no, do the cloth ones.
We got all the fancy toys for that. We'll see.
All right. Well, good luck. Good luck with the cloth diapers. Did you guys pick names yet?
Yeah, we're going to call him Harkin, K-Y-N. It's kind of unique, but just something different. We wanted something that not everybody has and you hadn't heard on every street corner.
Like every parent.
But also something that wasn't like, crazy.
I'm going to put money down right now that we're going to see him. We're going to change the name. As soon as you meet him in person, I'm going to put money that you're going to change the name. Yeah. That's not that it's a bad name. I'm just saying, like, we had Abigail for my daughter. It was all set, ready to go. And she popped out and it was Faith. Like, immediately it was Faith. So, yeah. And she was 6 weeks early. So we weren't super attached to Abigail, but it was a good call. Way too long a name.
We've got
Abigail.
heaps and tons of monogram stuff and all kinds of things. So it's probably going to stick.
Oh, all right. Well, I didn't know you were invested.
Yeah, we picked it pretty early on. And he's going to have the same middle name as me and my father. So me and my brother, I'm the oldest of the boys, and name, and me and my brother decided that when we had kids, the first one of us to have a boy we'd pass it on to him. So going to be Harkin Charles Stainbrook, but we'll call him, probably going to call him Hart most of the time for short, just like Mark, but with an H.
Okay. That's kind of awesome. I like that tradition. Any family tradition with a naming situation in it is good.
Yep.
So that's about all I have tonight. We covered the photos. We covered a whole lot. I didn't know there was dimorphism. Are there any other species that have dimorphism like that we don't know about? Because Armadillidium, I can't sex them.
Oh yeah, actually, you have to where a lot of the females have lighter skirting.
Okay.
You can kind of tell with their skirt, and then like I have Porcellio sylvestri, and the males are actually like completely a different color. The females are like grayish blue, and the males are orange with blue on each end. And so they all get kind of long Europe, and it's really hard to tell, even if it's a Porcellio, usually if they're male or female, but their colors are, different. So you can kind of sex them that way.
Okay.
But yeah, there's quite a lot of species that, dimorphism like that. Trying to think of any others off the top of my head that are different.
I'll start a topic on my Facebook page that is about that, if anybody knows any tips for those. Because some of them are super easy, like the Expansus and Bolivari and Hoffs. All of the giant Spanish are really easy. Yeah. Usually.
Yeah, the big Europods are easy to tell. And
yeah, those isopods that are hung, right?
Yeah, right.
I was watching my Hoffs the other day, and the female was just throwing males off of her. She must have been like ready to pop with eggs or something, because she was just not having it. She was just, getting chased around and just flicking them off of her, which is impressive because they're like twice her size. My males are monsters. So, any parting words for us? Any parting advice?
No, thanks so much for having me. And if you're not familiar with my photography, I'm sure you'll see it online if you're in any of the pod groups. I definitely frequently post it and stuff. And I do have photo tiles available, like the ones I was showing tonight, too. So if that's something that interests you for your own station to hang like that, hit me up.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Now, do you have? I kind of told people you have magnets too. Is that right? I think we talked about that the other day.
Yeah, I can pretty much any photo I have as a magnet or as a photo tile, really. But the photo tiles I can only make every so often, because where I get them done at, they only get them in every so often, and I usually buy them out. Okay. If you let me know ahead of time what you want, I can go ahead and like on the list to get ordered, so you can get yours. Of any of my photography you want, really, even my cottonmouth photos and stuff like that. Somebody was asking me about doing my Alabama wildlife stuff, so that's something I could do too. But yeah, magnets wise, I have like a 5-piece ducky set, a bunch of still from the show, which is just like 5 small size ducky shots of mine on magnet backs that you can get and hang. But yeah, any of my regular shots you want, I can get them done as like 4x6 magnets, which are big, but it's pretty on your fridge, especially if you get colors or whatever you want. You can make a collage.
A magnet collage? My daughter would be insane about that. She's always talking about my bugs. She thought I got rid of them because I let like 1,000 Armadillo and Vulgare go because they were all wild caught in my yard anyway. So I had like over 1,000 in one bin, and I just was like, they gotta go. And she's like, Daddy let all of his bugs go. And she told my mom, and my mom was like, thank God. Okay, so now, not to put a damper on it, you're leaving, but are you in a hurry to get out of here? Because you just reminded me of another topic that I wanted to touch on that I totally forgot because we were trying to do a slideshow.
No, what's that?
All right, so you do amazing wildlife photography that I totally forgot about. Now, that's super interesting. So maybe we'll do another 10, 15 minutes. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So now, how are you getting these shots? Like, just to find these things in the wild, like you got pretty close to that cottonmouth in the photos that we saw. And I know you're using a stick to like kind of like, oh, here he is. Which I had to look at it for like 10 minutes. I couldn't figure out where it was. Because it was just so blended. It was so blended in. I totally get how somebody could step on one and get bit.
Yeah. So as far as cottonmouths go, like, I mean, well, first of all, let's backtrack a little. I grew up kind of in the snake hobby and the reptile pet hobby. I was born on a goat farm with horses and stuff, but I started messing with snakes when I was about 14, 15, 16 years old. So I was out in the woods hunting them and photographing them, you know, as soon as phones had cameras on them, basically.
Okay.
And, you know, when we moved here to this place, the TFC Creek runs right behind our place. And so there's a section of it that I can access really easy that's pretty isolated from people. And that first winter we were here, the first fall we were seeing 13, 16 cottonmouths. Since then, there'd been some really nasty storms that came through and cleared a lot of that out. But
okay,
I helped moderate one of the Alabama snake ID groups, and you know, just try to help educate people on what they're seeing and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, as far as photographing goes, that's a kind of a different combination of skills than the like lighting and macro lens. Actually, all the shots you see that I posted the cottonmouths over the last couple of years, they've actually all been with the same phone that I use for the isopod shots. But for those shots, though, I do have snake hooks and, you know, professional equipment. I'm part of the Alabama and national remover groups and stuff like that. So I, you know, remove rattlesnakes from homes and stuff like that. I've been dealing with snakes for years and years and years. So it's not an unfamiliar territory for me as far as that goes. But yeah, as far as going out in the woods looking for them goes, you know, good footwear is really important. I usually wear like rubber muck boots with steel toes that go way up to my knees, just in case you were to accidentally step on one. Actually, any cottonmouth of significant size, pretty much any yearling, at least the ones I've ever encountered, and I've seen hundreds and hundreds in the wild, they've never stuck around to fight me or chase me, or, you know, they will get out of dodge fast. If there's a creek nearby, if there's a rock ledge they can get up under, they're getting out of dodge. The only ones I've almost stepped on in the past have been little tiny babies that just don't really know better, and their best defense is their crazy wild to sit still. But if you step close enough to those, though, they jump off into the creek just like all the rest of them.
Right.
But yeah, most of the shots I get in about within a foot to 2 feet of the cottonmouth, depending on the age of the snake. Most big snakes, you can't get that close. They won't let you get that close. They're taking off.
Yeah.
Most of those big shots,
they're gone before you even see them, right?
Yeah, I can't, or just, you know, I get a shot of them, but I'm at 6 feet, 7 foot distance, and I'm at, you know, 4 or 5 times zoom on the camera just to try to get a shot, which, like I said, this camera's still pretty good for the 7 or whatever. So like I said, my wife swears it's modified, but I you know, it has a good portrait mode too. So a lot of the shots you see are in portrait mode, especially of the smaller snakes, when I can get within like a foot of them and then they sit still. What really helps too is if you go down right after it rains, because the leaves don't crunch and everything. So everything's real wet and soggy, and you can stalk, you know, right up on something if you're real careful where you step and how you step. You don't, you know, not crunching on the leaves and making all this noise and rustling making a bunch of vibration. And so, you know, post a rain is a really time to go out and look for snakes in general. But Um, it's helpful for keeping you silent, which allows you to stalk right up on cottons, but also knowing where they sit. They all like to sit at like a certain height along the creek bank, and they like to sit just below waterfalls, usually off on the root edges. And knowing things like that helps you find them. But definitely not something to just go out and do. I would definitely go with somebody like me that's been doing it for years and give you some pointers before you go on your own. Also, if you're going on your own, make sure somebody knows where you're going, because if something were to happen, you got bit or you messed up and grabbed something you thought you knew what it was and it wasn't, or you never know. There's all kinds of crazy situations, but it's just better, especially if you're messing with venomous snakes. You don't have a ton of experience with venomous snakes, that you go with people that have some experience, or at least can give you some guidance on identification of what you're looking at. Because around here, there's only 4 or 5, but especially out west, there's tons of rattlesnakes and all kinds of different types of things. So
Yeah, for sure. And then, like, I wasn't totally getting onto taking pictures of venomous snakes. I'm not advising that at all. I live in Illinois, so I can take a picture of any snake I want. But you were saying you've never had a copperhead come at you, but in my neighborhood and in my yard, I think in particular, there are hundreds of garter snakes in my neighborhood. Just, you see them all the time. So I was walking up to my house, and we have these bushes in the front, and I heard some leaves rustle. And so I'm always curious. I'm like, what's that? Let's see what it is. It's a garter snake. He's maybe like 1.5 feet long, so a little guy. And as soon as he saw me, he coiled up like he was ready to go. Like he was ready to rock, right? He wanted to fight. And so I was like, get out of here. And I kind of like waved my hand at him, and he started going at me. Like he would not leave. So I finally got a stick and like gave him a little tap. He was pissed. So to see that little garter snake, and you're talking about copperheads.
Yeah, a lot of little rat snakes and stuff, have all kinds of attitude, and they'll stand all up and S-coil and crazy. But and I mean, most of the cottonmouths I encounter, they make a big hissy, splashy, bubble blowing, dramatic to run away. But they do usually get out of dodge. But the rat snakes and stuff, they don't have venom or anything like that, so they'll kind of stand and fight. The gardos, they'll kind of stand and fight, but
they're just trying to scare
you.
Yeah,
Herping. NFK Herping. He's really good on YouTube. Good Noah Fields. He's a good guy to watch. That goes out and road cruises and flips tin and stuff like that. Tiles, and you can learn about all kinds of species. He travels all over the country, just like finding snakes. He goes to Illinois, Texas, and Nevada, Arizona, and Colorado. I mean, he travels all over, so you can learn about snakes from all over just watching his videos and different vlogs from where he's been. You got cool snakes in Illinois too, like we got some bulls and stuff out there that I don't have here.
I've seen a bull snake. My dad's a maniac, so he lived outside, like kind of like you're growing up, like lived out in the woods, and we were on vacation, and he swam out to this island, and he came back with a good sized snapping turtle over his head. Like he's swimming back with it across this lake. But we watched him. The kids, we were out at this club that he used to go to, and all the kids were out in this gravel lot, and we found a bull snake that was probably like 4 feet long. And we were poking at it with sticks. We were kids, we're like, whatever. So he was all coiled up and threatening. And so my dad comes out, and he does this move I've never seen before. Like he's reaching down at it so it would strike up. And then when it struck up, he just grabbed it. Like, it's just like, bam.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that. I think I was 8 when it happened. And it was like, I think my dad's a superhero. Like, what is this? But I don't recommend that catch style to anyone. He was pretty drunk at the time, but he nailed it.
We have pine snakes here, but they're super, super rare, and that's about the closest thing to a bull snake I have wild. But they cool thing about bull snakes and stuff, they're in the genus Pituophis, and all the Pituophis have a conical shaped cartilage megaphone in their throat, essentially, that amplifies their hiss and makes them sound incredibly menacing. Even really small ones sound extremely loud for being really tiny, but it's because of this cartilaginous like cone in their throat that helps them like snarl super loud.
So they've got like an amp in there or like a megaphone. I love
yeah,
these
for
crazy adaptations that we talk about. Like, it's just crazy to me. So then, do you do snake removals?
I'm a wealth of useless animal knowledge, friend.
Oh, see, I'm going to post that up at work where we belong to a Teams thing where I can contact anybody in my company. And so I've picked like 7 or 8 people that I send them a useless animal fact every day. So,
yeah.
And they're not necessarily into that. It just is funny to me.
My day job is at PetSmart. I keep a dungeon full of reptiles and isopods and critters. And I go to shows in my spare time and do reptile expos and stuff. So my life is pretty much pet ingrained 100%.
See, I work at a bank. So those people aren't into this like we are. I did those tours. I did the PetSmart Petco tours of duty. Petland. I don't know if you guys have like a Petland out there or no.
We have Pet Supermarket and Pet Supply Plus and some independent shops, but mostly just Co's and Smarts.
This store, Petland, this chain that was out here is basically why Puppy Mill still exists. So they were horrible.
Ooh.
Yeah, they'd give you a pep talk once a week, like, hey, the news is out. If they show up here, come get a manager. Don't talk to them. It's like, okay, what are you hiding? Because that's not a pep talk. That's Petland, folks. Don't buy a dog from there. That's awesome. So your advice for wildlife photography is safety first. And again, take a lot of shots, right? Because the lighting is not, you're not in a controlled environment at all.
And, patience with that. And, a lot of times I get frustrated. I've been out for an hour looking for something and you finally come across a snake and you get just the right position to get a good shot. And then he darts, and takes off and spooks and you're back to square one looking for a snake, And so that kind of it's a lot more frustrating with wildlife photography, especially with snakes than it is with isopods, because just trying to like nail down the shot can be really difficult, and tracking the animal down can be difficult. So if you're out in the field, especially, I have a lot of captive snakes and I took a bunch of photos of them, a lot easier than wild stuff. But yeah, wildlife photography is just about Pinson. It really helps having a guide or somebody that knows where the animals are that can kind of help take you there. You spend so much time just endlessly looking for even something to photograph. But once you have a spot kind of like I've got where you can go to, consistently find, it's just about, getting one that's cooperating and sitting still long enough for me to get in a position to get a shot of him, really.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to get my camera on my phone on speed dial, because by the time I get it out, we had I live in a city, so we don't see this. I've never seen this in Joliet where I live, but we had a yearling bald eagle, like it still had its baby feathers, land in a tree like right above me while I was walking around the block with my daughter, and I was like, I didn't have my phone on me, so I like put her on my shoulder, ran back across the street, grabbed my phone, came back, and she's like, Daddy, put me down. I'm like, no, you're too slow. I can't. We're in the street. So I get there, I get my phone out, and I look up to zoom, and he was right there the whole time. I look up to zoom in, and he's gone. So I got the crappiest 200-yard photo of him that you can imagine. He was 15 feet away from me in the tree. I was like, this is going to be awesome. No dice, because I love a bald eagle, and they have that distinctive cry. That's how I knew it was in the neighborhood. Because as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, where is it? That real
high pitched, like whistly scream.
Yeah, it's almost like a weird laugh, like that they're doing when they're flying. But this was like
real specific cadence.
Yeah, exactly. So it was awesome. But I need to get my phone on speed dial and have it on me at some point. All right, so that's the real deal. So thank you for coming on. Honestly, it's an honor to have every guest that we have on. You guys spend time with us. So hopefully this drums up some sales for you, or at least some interest with my 100 viewers. So you'll see, if you look at it, a lot of people will watch tomorrow. So you'll get views tomorrow.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
Fair?
It's just all about inspiring people and helping people enjoy the hobby and finding other reasons to have isopods.
Yeah, because I mean, these are proof that you show us that they are gorgeous. Like, this is not a joke. Like, these are some beautiful animals. Does it go the other way? No. I mean, again, I didn't know that Spatulatus had a profile. So everybody takes a picture top down because they look like little circles. Awesome. And they're bumpy. Sure. They have texture. Anyway, thanks again, Tanner. This was great. I had a great time. So I hope you had fun too.
Oh, yeah, that's great, man. I love talking pods.
Everyone does. But you seem to know more than most. So thanks for coming on and giving us some hardcore science and just some cool insights. So have a great night. Good luck with the baby. He's got to get his sleep while he can. That's no joke. Once that baby comes, there's no sleeping after that. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you learned something. I hope you're going to up your game with your photos. Some of you really need it. I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are. You know who you are. I don't expect you to get to the same level as Mr. Stainbrook, but up your game. All right, up your game. Maybe some spider people, up your game. Those spiders just sit there all day. I know what's up. That's all we got. Again, like, subscribe, touch the bell icon in an inappropriate way. So, there's Mama Stainbrook. Welcome back.
Yeah.
You got a rough month ahead of you. Like, that last month is hardcore.
Don't I know it?
Yeah.
I have good support.
We didn't get that far. Yeah, you do. Definitely. You both have good support. I think it goes back and forth. Your guys' pictures are amazing on Facebook.
Thank you, sir.
So good luck. Good luck. If I have advice for you, it is get your sleep while you can. And Tanner, you're going to learn how to sleep. You'll be able to sleep on a park bench and one of those like concrete parking lot dividers. You'll be able to sleep on one of those in the next 2 months.
I should be good, man. I do a lot of 4 a.m. shifts and stuff, so I'm pretty used to like early mornings and late nights.
And
all right, well, good luck.
I hate to break it to you, but I am 8 months pregnant. There is not much sleeping happening right now.
Yeah, but it's a little different. I feel like it's a little different. I slept on a air mattress for 5 months before my baby was born. So I slept on an air mattress in the living room because my wife needed so many weird pillows and stuff to get comfortable that there was no room.
Yeah,
so I was just like, forget it.
Barrier between us for a while, and I'm ready for it to go away.
Yeah, I bet it's super not comfortable from what I've been told. I don't know. No. But good luck. Good luck. I hope everything goes super smooth and is beautiful. So, and I expect to see pictures, macro pictures of that kid anytime.
I'm sure we'll think of something.
Please don't post the gross 3D ultrasound. Please don't post that.
Well, we actually didn't get one. So yeah, we weren't fans either.
Perfect. So smart. They're so gross. It looks like your womb is like a lava lamp with a face. Like it's so gross.
Exactly. Yeah, we were like, there's no need for health-wise for one. They were expensive, and yeah, I think they're a little creepy too. So, nah.
Yeah, we had it covered by our insurance, but I was like, we're not sharing that with anyone. That's not a fun show. So anyway, good luck. Have a great night. Thank you for letting me use your husband for an hour and a half, and hopefully you guys get some sleep. All right?
We'll try.
Thanks again. What a great couple. All right, so I didn't know we were going to pop back in, but I saw them both on the screen, and I had to. It was like that moment where we caught Russ laughing. So I'm proud of that moment just now. You guys have a great night. Hope everything is great. We'll see you soon. All right, hopefully. Come back